So tonight we are continuing with our journey to find Simcha, okay, in the season of Adar, and so this is actually the fourth class that we're doing on this topic of Simcha. First was introductory, and then the second class was about the fact that we can make a choice, and this is that it's in our power not to wait for Simcha to come to us. The third class was about how Simcha is really about being ourselves and not being forced into something that we're not, and living authentic lives. And that's an important way to come to Simcha. Today, I want to speak about perhaps the most important element in Simcha, and how we can implement this into our lives. And this is really based on a teaching of the Vilna Gaon, but it's really very basic. We're going to see that Rebbe Nachman says clearly the same idea, and this is one of the most basic ideas in mind and psychology of how to come to a positive state of mind, how to fight against depression, and this is on many different levels. This is really the most important thing that we can know about Simcha. So it starts with a question that we know in the Torah. So there's different words that we talk about regarding Simcha, the most common of which are Simcha and Sason. Okay, we have now in Megillas Esther coming up. La Yehudim Hayta Ara v'Simcha v'Sason v'Ikar. Okay, so we have Simcha and Sason. What is the difference between Simcha and Sason? And in fact, this is the topic of a Gemara. The Gemara in the fifth parak of Sukkah has this whole conversation between Simcha and Sason. This guy, one guy was named Simcha and one guy was named Sason. You know, Simcha is like actually it's interesting. You see from the Gemara that Simcha is a boy's name. It's an interesting thing that in Ashkenazi culture, Simcha is a boy's name. In Sephardic culture, Simcha is a girl's name. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. There are names that are good for both, but the name Simcha, I'm pretty sure that it's like it doesn't go for both. It just depends who you are. So in the Gemara, it was actually used for a boy. Not that that's a proof to anything, because actually the Gemara seems to say that he was a bad boy. He was like a heretic. But it's not that we want to follow his example. Maybe his mother was, whatever. And so there's a whole conversation between Simcha and Sason, and on this Gemara, so there's a discussion. What actually is the difference between Simcha and Sason? How come sometimes it says we say Simcha and Sason, sometimes we say Sason and Simcha, and so the Vilna Gaon gives the following explanation, and that is that the difference is that Simcha is the feeling when we're at the beginning of a journey, and we have the excitement of that working towards our goal, that we know that something amazing is going to happen. So that feeling of the first day of school, that feeling of like the groundbreaking of a new project, so that's excitement is called Simcha. Okay, whereas Sasan is the feeling of accomplishment when you're at the end of the journey. Okay, when you've actually succeeded. So that is called Sasan. So that's why we say in Kaladan, Smecham b'tzeitam v'sasim b'vo'am. So when they leave on a journey, they're smechim. When they come to their destination, they are sasim. Yeah, that's really where you see it very clearly. That's what it means. And so that's why naturally the normal order is going to be Simcha and then Sason, because first the excitement at the beginning, and then it's the Sason, the feeling of accomplishment of being at the end. But sometimes we do Sason and Simcha, and that is, for example, by Asher Brachas. So we say Asher Bara Sason v'Simcha. Okay, over there we flip it. Why? Because there's something very interesting about Asher Brachas. Asher Brachas is that you're at a certain you're at a certain end. You know that you started shidduchim, and you started the whole dating process, and like you're deliberating, yes, no, and like finally you said yes, I'm going to do this, and finally then you had the whole process, the whole struggle of organizing a wedding, and then everything works out, and you finally did it, and you're finally married. Now I'm at the end. Okay, that's a sasan, but at the same time, but it's actually the beginning. It's actually the beginning. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of your marriage, which is actually I feel like it's very much the same thing with conversion. Like people like when people finish the conversion. So it's the end. It's the end of a long process. Sometimes for some people it could take 5 years, and it's like when they finally finish, it's an accomplishment, it's a satisfaction of being at the end of a journey. But at the same time, it's a sasan v'simcha. It's a sasan. It's the end of a journey, but at the same time, at the very same moment, it's really the beginning of something even greater. Okay? So that's why sometimes we have first simcha and then sasan, and sometimes we have first sasan and then simcha. So this is the explanation of the Vilna, that simcha is the excitement of the journey. Simcha is the excitement of knowing that I'm going somewhere, knowing that I have aspirations, and that something is happening to my life, and I'm on a good path. Okay, so this is very much relevant for us in our journey for simcha, in our search for simcha. So what does this tell us? If simcha is about the excitement of a journey, so then we need to make sure that we are on a journey. We have to make sure constantly that we have this excitement of a journey. Yeah. So the truth is that this is a pasuk in Tehillim. It says Yismach lev mevakshei Hashem, that the heart will rejoice of a person who is mevakesh Hashem, a person who's searching for God. Okay. And so what does this mean? That if a person is a mevakesh, person who's searching, person who's on a search, person who is not complacent, person who wants to get somewhere better, so they are always going to have joy in their heart. Okay? Why are they going to have joy in their heart? Because they know that they're on a journey. Okay? The fact that you know that you're going somewhere, the fact that I know that I have this finish line, that I'm on a journey, I'm on the way there, so that's what's going to give journey. That's what's going to give simcha in my heart. Okay? You look confused.
Yeah, if somebody defines themselves as perennially on a journey, then would that not, over the course of one's life, set in a level of not apathy, but like if you never define points of success, points of conclusion along the way, then the journey. The destination becomes the journey, and you're just like...
Why do you think that the person wouldn't have definite things on the way?
Because we didn't get that far.
This is absolutely true. That the person needs to constantly be on a journey, and if you're at the end of your journey, then it's time to die. A person needs to be constantly on a journey. A person always has to have goals. A person always has to say that I'm not there. If you're feeling that I'm there, that is the worst place that you could possibly be. Okay?
Sure.
So okay. So this is that's actually very, very beautiful. The Rebbe Nachman connects this idea to something that we recently learned about this in the parsha of Nasa v'Nishma. Okay? So Rebbe Nachman connects simcha to the idea of Nasa v'Nishma, which is really this very, very same idea, and that is that it says in the Midrash that when the Jewish people said Nasa v'Nishma, so they merited to these two crowns that they put on their head, and then when they sinned with the golden calf, so then those crowns were taken from them. And the Gemara uses the term the simchat olam al rasham. Simchat olam al rasham. That it refers to these crowns as simchat olam. So he says, you see in the Midrash that they connect simcha with Nasa v'Nishma. So what is the secret of Nasa v'Nishma? So Rebbe Nachman says, what does it mean? What does it mean, Nasa? Nasa is when I'm doing something. To be able to do something means that you get it. It means that you understand it. That you can't do something that's like just in the horizon. There's something that's in the like I have a cloudy, foggy idea of what things will be nice when Mashiach is here. When I'm in 10 years and 20 years, you know what, I'm going to be so awesome. Like I have a little fuzzy, but like that's not Nasa. Nasa, you can only do something if you're actually there, right? Nishma, on the other hand, Nishma, to hear something, that Rebbe Nachman says is referring to the things that are not yet clear to me. the things that are beyond me, okay, the things that I can only dream about, the things that I can hear about. This is like the stories that people tell me about what's beyond that I haven't yet achieved, and yet I can hear them. Okay, so this is what nishma means. So he writes, what's it mean, nasa v'nishma? Nasa v'nishma means that, first of all, I'm going to understand whatever I can understand. I'm going to live life to my fullest at any given moment. But at the same time, nishma, at the same time, I'm going to always want to understand more. Always want to reach a higher level. And then eventually, he writes, Umisha bala madrega gvar me'rishena, nasa mehanishma shelo b'chenes nasa. So sometimes a person can elevate himself and come to a higher level of understanding, and then what used to be called nishma suddenly became nasa. Okay, something that used to be just some fuzzy idea on the horizon, that one day I wake up and I say, wow, I get it. Now I really get it. And that thing that he was once dreaming about, so now he's there. Okay, so what happens then? Va'az yesh lo b'chinas nishma acheres. That at that moment, that what used to be just this vague aspiration in the horizon, when he gets it, so then there gets an even higher aspiration that now he can strive for. Okay, so and he continues. V'tzarech kol adam sheyelech midarga ledarga u'me'olam la'olam ad sheyizke leb'chinas nasa v'nishma gva yosef. That a person has to constantly be striving to be getting higher, to constantly be going on this ladder of nasa v'nishma, that to aspire to something greater, and then to elevate yourself to the point that I got it, I'm there, and then realize that, oh wow, actually there's something even greater. That it is like when you're at a certain level, so then the thing that you can imagine is something which is like here, but when you're at a higher level, then the biggest thing that you can imagine is even higher than that. So that the higher you get, so the bigger your horizons are, the bigger your aspirations are. So like a person on a low level, a small person has small aspirations. The bigger you are, the higher aspirations are, right? And you can tell, like sometimes, like with kids, their goal in life is something very, very small. Like the bigger you are, the higher your aspirations are. Okay, so the same thing with spirituality. That when you're at okay, now Leia's probably feels bad that she didn't put on the video. Yeah. So you can say hello if you want.
She's on the call-in. Hey, Leia.
So the higher you get, the higher your aspirations are, and as we elevate ourselves to higher spiritual levels, so then we realize that, whoa, I didn't realize that I'm so far. Okay, and that's really the way it's supposed to be. It's really the way it's supposed to be. That we've said before in other contexts about understanding, about knowledge, that the more you know, the more you understand that you don't know. Right? If you think you know, then you don't know. If you know that you don't know, then you know. You know, and so that if a person thinks that they've made it, that means that they haven't even started yet. That means so. So the closer a person gets to real spirituality, the more that they know. Like, in other words, like somebody would say, you can have a person that they're just like a horrible, disgusting person. They're always yelling at their wife and yelling at their kids, and like everybody hates them, and they're like the most just obnoxious. They're just always putting everybody down and just controlling. It's just like toxic people, and they don't like helping. They like to just like tell everybody else to do things, and they don't want to do anything themselves. And they have no connection to compassion, no connection to empathy, no connection to chesed, no connection to just like simcha, no connection to any good midah. And like when you ask them, like what's your New Year's resolution? So I was wondering, like how could I be a better person? How could I maybe I think it's about time that I should start putting on Rebbe Tam tefillin. Like I don't know, like what else? I'm so holy. I'm so holy. What else could I possibly add to make me a little bit holier? So maybe it's time I should I should start wearing a strimal. So if you think you're there, then that it really means you're not there. There's a big Sadic by the name of Kamkadma Shapiro, whose name is the Rebbe. Okay, he wrote many amazing Sfarim. He was killed in the Holocaust, and miraculously, many of his writings survived. And so one of his books that he wrote was called B'nai Machshava Tova, which is literally like the club, the children of good thoughts. Okay, so this is actually a handbook for a club that he initiated, this kind of chabura, you could call it. This group of people that he instructed that his students should get together a couple times a week, and to talk about their being Jews. Oh, it fell. What happened? What she? Leah left. You want to ask her if she's okay, if she wants to call back or something? Oh, okay. So he writes over there, and that this club, this B'nai Machshava Tova, so this is only for people that really understand that they're very far from where they would like to be in their service of Hashem. Yeah. And he says, like, I don't mean like people who that you know intellectually that you're not doing what you want to, that you're not where we'd like to be. Because if you don't know intellectually, then you're just a fool. Then you're just imbecile. I mean that it's so strong by you that it's so strong that you're so in touch with the fact that you're really far from where you would like to be with your service of Hashem, that like every once in a while you break down crying about it. Like that's the kind of people that this is intended for. If you're not like this, so please don't come to us. Like you're not for us. We're not for you. Like you don't do yourself a favor. Find people who are similar to you, and we'll find people who are similar to us. The truth is that I'm not even so happy about the fact that you're reading my book, but like nothing I can do. But it's like if you really, if you know it's good for you, just stay away from us. And so that's how he describes a person who is serving Hashem. The very basic premise of serving Hashem is that you know that you're very far from where you would like to be. You're very far from. And so that's a sign of an Avodah Hashem. A sign of an Avodah Hashem is that I know that there's so much that I haven't accomplished yet. Okay, and this is a very basic thing, like in mental health. That like as we're saying that having aspirations and knowing that I'm not there yet is such a basic thing in Simcha. So there's that somebody once broke it up very methodically, that you have that there's that ask the question like that, how you doing? So you can give different possible answers. You can say I'm doing awesome. You can say I'm doing horrible, or you could say I'm doing good, but I'm on the way. It could be things are going to be better. Okay, so he said that if you want to move this into, like, if you want to divide this into mental health categories, so a person basically that where you should be, where you would like to be, is one thing, and what you are is another thing. Okay, and so naturally, like in a healthy situation, so there's dissonance between the two. And how do you deal with that dissonance? So there's three possibilities. Two of them are unhealthy. One of them is healthy. Okay, one of them, the more simple ones, is to just ignore one of them. Okay, so you have two kinds of people: the people that ignore that I have potential, and that's they say that, like, I have no hope, and so then they're only left with their actual I'm at the bottom, I'm very far from where I would like to be, and I have no potential, so then I'm doing like horrible. And that is a state of depression. State of depression is a person lost his hope. Okay? Then you have another unhealthy way of resolving this dissonance, and that is to ignore reality and to say that, yeah, I'm Napoleon. I'm the king of the world, and that's schizophrenia. and then the healthy approach is to, at the same time, to recognize that I'm doing okay, to recognize my small accomplishments, to recognize that I'm on a path, to recognize that I'm not nowhere, and yet I still have a way to go. And that's mamish, like the way that we should be striving for this feeling of that I'm doing good, I'm not nowhere, I'm doing good, and things are going to be even better. And that's like that's what we're striving for. That is a state which is going to lead us to simcha. Okay? So this is how Rebbe Nachman, this is how he describes Nasa v'nishma. Nasa v'nishma is b'china simcha. Nasa v'nishma is about simcha, because Nasa v'nishma means Nasa is what I understand, is the things that I can really comprehend. Not working? Is she here?
She's bed service.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and nishma is what I'm striving for, and so life is all about turning the nishma into the nasa, that reaching higher and higher levels, that I have higher and higher aspirations. But at the moment that I achieve something, that's the sasan v'simcha. At the moment that I achieve something, to realize that, wow, now I have an even higher horizon, now I want to go even further. So this is what he writes. He writes very clearly in the Kuti Eitzes. Rebbe Nachman writes in the sixth note, in the sixth point in the Kuti Eitzes in Simcha, Lizkot l'simcha hu ayidei Torah u'tefillah. If you want to come to Simcha, so you need Torah and Tefillah. V'ha'ikr hi tefillah. But the most important thing is Tefillah. She'yitpalel b'chol pam lahasig hanistar mimenu. That to dive into Hashem, to achieve what is not yet revealed to you. Ad sheyelech b'chol pam midarga ladarga va'al derech zeh hi ikar hasimcha. So this is Tefillah. Tefillah is having aspirations. Tefillah is, I'm not there, Hashem, I would like to be in a better place. Okay? That cry out to God, that Hashem, I would like to be in a better place, that is an expression of hope. That is an expression of, that's why it's very important that people have to know how to daven. You have to know how to daven. There's some people that they're very bad daveners. Some people, with the mistake davening for complaining. Complaining is a horrible, horrible midah. When a person, it's actually one of the things that it says we're commanded to remember every day. Zachor es asher hiktzavta es Hashem Elokecha b'midbar. This is one of the things that you have to, the six things you have to remember every day. That remember how you really upset Hashem when you were in the desert, and that's a reference to why do we upset Hashem? Because we're always complaining. Okay, so now what does it mean? What's the difference between davening and complaining? Okay, it's a very, 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 very important difference. This is also an idea which is related to Megillas Esther. Okay, now the word she'elah. What does the word she'elah mean in Hebrew? Question. So it means question, and this is also a very important thing to understand what's a real question. What's a real question? So the word for Hebrew, the word for she'elah in Hebrew. So Esther, when she comes to Achashverosh, so Achashverosh asks her that Ma she'elatech, Esther Hamalka. What is your she'elah, Queen Esther? Uma bakashatech. And what is your request? Ad chatzi amachus b'seas. I'll even give you half of the kingdom. Okay. What was Achashverosh asking? What is your she'elah? What is your she'elah? Okay. But why is it? What is the theory of everything? King Achashverosh said, why do bad things happen to good people? What does it mean? What's your she'elah? What's your she'elah means? What's your request? Right? It doesn't mean what's your question. The word she'elah over here means request, right? So the question is, why is in Lashon HaKodesh, why do we use the same word for question as we do for request? And the answer is very simple. Because a true question is actually a request. A true question is actually a request. Why is a question actually a request? Because it's requesting knowledge. An answer. It's requesting an answer. Okay? That there's a good question and a bad question. Okay? Some people they like to come to classes and they like to talk a lot, and they don't really, when they're asking questions, they don't really mean that the teacher should ask them, what do you mean to say is that, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. That's when they ask a question like, hey, but did you forget about what it says on page 82? Did you forget it? And that their questions are actually refutations, right? And that's not a question. Okay, a question by nature is a request for an answer. So to request an answer means that I recognize that I don't know everything. I recognize that there is some higher knowledge which is above me, and I'm saying, please give it to me. Okay, so this is when it comes to davening. So you have two kinds of people who daven. You have people that they come to Hashem and they complain. Why does a person complain? A person that complains, it's only because they don't really believe that Hashem can make a difference. Okay, if you really believe in God, so then there's no such thing as complaining. Then when you talk to Hashem, you say, Hashem, you have all the jobs in the world, you have all the shidduchim in the world, that, come on, I would like one. It's time. It's time. And so if people can go to the kotel and just like have a good cry, and really they're just complaining. Really, they're just like, they feel hopeless, and they feel, I'm just like, my life is over. I'm just like crying to Hashem because Hashem gets me. But like, hello, Hashem doesn't just get you. Hashem has all of the things you need. You should ask Him for things. You shouldn't complain.
What's wrong with crying to Hashem?
If you're crying in request, that's good. If you're crying out of self-pity, so then that's very, very bad, because it's not okay, because it's not recognizing that He actually has all the answers.
Right. But even if let's say He brings you Yeshua tomorrow, it's still really hard today.
Mm-hmm.
It might make you feel better to just complain to Hashem.
It's always bad to complain.
Always?
It's always bad to complain, because complaining is coming from a place of self-pity.
It's the helplessness.
Right? Mm-hmm.
So you can complain if it's like, I want to be in Hashem and like have Hashem help you, but not like, there's nothing that's going to fix this. Why is it this way? This is horrible. Everything's bad.
When you feel broken to Hashem, and like it's complicated, because like it feels good to cry to Hashem, right? Because you feel loved, you feel supported. But the truth is that you don't realize that when you were just complaining to Hashem, you were really forgetting that He can actually help you.
Right.
And that's a horrible mistake.
So crying out to Hashem to ask for help.
Yeah. Now, help could be like whatever is like help for dealing with the situation, help for like to know that exactly what needs to go on. Like obviously there's where I would like things to be, and there's plan B, right? But to complain to Hashem, to think that Hashem can't help you, that is not a she'ela, and that's not recognizing that Hashem actually could help you, that He's all powerful.
Is it possible for one to feed into the other and basically turn complaining into the way I'm pursuing is similar to like a Ramchal-esque stop doing bad and then do good kind of thing, where by complaining you elicit in your mind all the things that you want help for and then ask for help.
Maybe in the middle of your davening you could wake up and realize that Hashem could actually help you, but I'm saying that save yourself the trouble and realize from the offset that Hashem can help you. So there's no need to complain. Okay? So this is what it means. This is why simcha, this is why tefillah brings you to simcha, because tefillah is that there's something that is beyond me, which I am requesting, that I am aspiring to, and knowing that there's something exciting to look forward to. So that is what's going to give me simcha.
I'm sorry for consistently asking questions. I'm very curious here then, because it feels very good to complain about things, right? So, but every taiva in the world has a healthy use of it, right? Sexual taivas for marriage, right? Monetary taivas for providing for your kids, stuff like that, right? So
what's the positive of complaining?
So what's
the positive of complaining?
Yeah, every taiva has a positive way of implementation in the world, a healthy way of doing so. What is
I'll think about that.
Healthy way of implementing?
I'll think of what is why did Hashem create complaining? That's a good question. There's like I know a word for why Hashem created atheism. I know Hashem why Hashem created it's whatever.
Reason is easy.
But anyway, so I have to figure out why did Hashem, what is the positive use of complaining? We'll have to figure that out. The Rebbe Nachman says this in a different perspective, also in the Kutei Eitzos, in Od Aleph. So he says, "Ayidei riyat pnei Sadic zochen simcha." That another way to come to simcha is by looking at the face of a tzaddik. Okay? By looking at the face of a tzaddik. I don't think this means a picture. I think it actually means. I think you need the real thing for this. You need to actually have a real live tzaddik to look at, and so this is something that we're going to speak about tzaddik and Rebbe Nachman at a different time. But I think what Rebbe Nachman means by this is that when a person looks at a tzaddik, so he sees something which is greater than him, and he sees that that there's something bigger than me. There's something to aspire to. There's something that I can really connect to, something which is bigger. And I think this is why people like great people. This is why we connect with heroes, and that we feel that if I am a fan of a hero, so that makes me bigger, And the truth is that it's actually true. The truth is that if I'm connected to something which is greater than me, so I did become something greater. Okay, so we have two people that they're both they both have the same level of understanding. They both have the same level of doing mitzvahs in the same way. But one of them, so he knows, he hangs around people bigger than him. Okay, there's an expression like you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. Ever heard this? So if you hang around big people, you're going to be a big person. If you hang around talented people, you're going to be a talented person. So by being around the tzaddik, so you're expanding your vistas, you're expanding your horizons, you're expanding what you are. That you're becoming something bigger by looking at the tzaddik, and he is much greater than you in his accomplishments, in his self-motivation, in his self-discipline, in his intelligence, in his holiness, and in every element of life, he is outdoing you. And by looking at him, so then that affects you. How does that affect you? So it tells you that there's something that I could aspire to, and I find with myself that and this is what I meant before about there's a difference between being live and being with just a picture. That's like when he says the face, it's not just the face. It's being in the presence of a tzaddik. That when you're around a tzaddik, so it makes you want to be a better person. It's just reality that you're around a holy person. It awakens something inside of us that we connect with that. That there's a certain I remember we spoke about once how it says that we each have inside of us the nekudas tzaddik. We have a piece of us that wants to be a big tzaddik, and by being around the tzaddik, that awakens within us that nekudah of tzaddik that just was dormant, and we forgot it's there, and then it wakes up, and so there's something about being around the tzaddik that elicits in us that we could be greater, and so this says Rebbe Nachman, brings a simcha. Okay, how does it bring a simcha? It brings a simcha because it puts us on a journey. It shows us that there's something to strive for, and being on this journey, knowing that we're going somewhere. So that is what gives us. That's what gives us amazing simcha. Okay, so now let's circle back. So the definition of simcha, as explained by the Vinagon, is that the excitement of being at the beginning of a journey. Okay, knowing that I'm starting something, that I'm going to something which is worthwhile, I'm going to something which is going to be awesome. The excitement of that, wow, this is so cool, this is like, whoa. And so part of the excitement is that I know that I'm growing, I know that I'm expanding, that I'm going to become something else. Right? There's something that is what simcha is about. That the knowledge that something is going to change. Something is going to become bigger. Okay, so this is the first step, and then the Rebbe Nachman adds to this that Simcha is about what he calls Nasa v'Nishma, and this is the idea of constant growth. Okay, that the knowledge that I'm constantly expanding, I'm constantly moving forward. So now, the opposite of this is that if we would want to say what's the converse of this whole teaching, is that the enemy, that the opposite of Simcha, depression. What is the essence of depression? The essence of depression is not being on a journey. Okay, and this is what we can call complacency. This is what we can call it is what it is. Like people that just like making peace with the situation and saying that like okay, whatever. That like it is what it is like it's an interesting quote because like there is a time for it is what it is. That like when there's like to accept reality and not complain about the reality, like it is what it is, like can't be anything else. Like I was created like this and that's perfect, so that's it is what it is. But to say it is what it is, that I don't need to strive for anything, that it is what it is, so I'm not going to wake up in the morning because it is what it is, and I'm not going to apply for the job because it is what it is. That like I'm okay being unemployed and unsuccessful and not doing anything with my life because it is what it is. So that's a horrible place to be. Okay, that is the essence of depression. Okay, so really this is an idea that was developed by Viktor Frankl, and in his search for mental health, in his search for like how can we help people that are struggling with mental health, so he discovered that the greatest drive in the human psyche is the drive for meaning. Okay, and this is the most amazing thing. What's going to make us happy? What's going to bring us simcha? So the greatest thing that can bring us simcha, he discovered, is actually meaning, is to find meaning with our lives. And so he realized that like before him, so the going theory was the theory of Sigmund Freud. That Sigmund Freud thought that the greatest drive in the human psyche is for pleasure. Okay? And he vehemently disagreed with this, that life is not, it's impossible to find pleasure, and there's going to be suffering in life, and there's going to be a lot of pain in life, and if your goal is to have pleasure, so then it's a lost battle. And he said that it's possible to find happiness even without pleasure if you have meaning, and meaning can always find. And this is, and like it's an amazing thing that he actually, that this is now the accepted approach in modern psychology, that he changed the way that the world looked at human psyche from this animalistic drive of Freud that man is looking for physical pleasure to man is looking for meaning, man is looking for purpose. Okay, it's an amazing revolution that he made in the way that we as a human race look at ourselves. So he explained that if you want to be happy, you need to have a meaning of your life. You need to know why you're living. You need to know what I'm striving for. And he developed a therapy called logotherapy. That lago, from the word logos in Latin, means meaning, and that he would help people through giving them meaning. Okay, and so a person would come to him, and he would say, "Doctor, I want to kill myself." And so he had an interesting approach. He would say, "Okay, go, so kill yourself." So he said, "No, I can't kill myself." Like I guess he realized that they're coming to him. So I can't kill myself because like, what's my dog gonna do? So I can't kill myself because like, what's my boss gonna do? I wish I had the privilege of killing myself, but like, there's too many things that are gonna be messed up if I kill myself. So he said, I think you're a fool. Why do you look at these things as things which are holding you back from your suicide? Why don't you look at these things as things which are the meaning of your life? That when you wake up in the morning, that you agree that the world would not be the same without you. There's a reason why you need to live, because there's something that you need to do, that without you, the world wouldn't be the same. So that is the meaning of your life. Okay, that's something that you're living for a reason. And so this is how he would give people a will to live. I mean, that he understood that if you want to have simcha in life, then you need to have aspirations. Okay, and this is something which is used in modern psychology. So you've probably heard from me before that I like to quote from DBT a lot. And so in DBT, the very first goal in DBT therapy is what they call the life worth living discussion, the life worth living conversation. And that is that a person comes to therapy and they want to kill themselves, and they're in a lot of pain, and the life as it exists right now is not worth living. Life as it is right now is there's a lot of pain and no gain, and so it's really, I'd rather do without it. Okay, that's what a person who's suicidal, that's how they feel. And so what's the mistake? What's the mistake in their thinking? Like, it's actually true. Right now, if I'm just looking right now, so then it's actually true. That right now, my life is full of horrible pain and no pleasure. So why should I put up with this? Right? It's easier to. So she also has I mentioned this on other occasions. So she also has that even before coming to meeting and aspirations and dreams. So she says, that why do you want to kill yourself? Because you want the pain to end, right? So she says, there's actually no scientific data supporting the fact that the pain actually ends.
Yikes.
She was a religious Christian, and so she believed that your soul keeps on living. So so it probably you're still gonna be just as pained when you wake up after you killed yourself. So that's also something to ponder. But
that's one strategy.
Mm-hmm. It works for many of them. It works. So anyway, but the first conversation that you have in this therapy is the life worth living conversation, which means that it's true that right now your life is not worth living, but can we just imagine for a moment that what would it take for your life to be worth living? That right now, there's a lot of cons and zero pros, so it's not worth living. But if we could change the game, if we would change the rules, what would it take to put into your life that then it would be worth living? It would be strategic for you to stay alive, because there would be enough positive stuff in my life that it's worth it for me to be around. It's worth it for me not to take my life. So that's the life worth living conversation. So in that is where the therapist reveals that things could change. That let's work on something. Let's get ourselves to a goal. Let's get out of this unfortunate situation where everybody's mean to you and people are causing you pain. And let's put yourself into a situation that you're proud of yourself and you feel that you're doing something necessary, something meaningful with your life. And that if things would be like this, then I would feel that the gain is worth enough that it's not worth leaving the game. It's not worth killing myself. So this is precisely having this picture, having this vision of a life worth living, and then obviously the next step is how to implement it, how to change your life to get to the place that it's going to be worth living, right? But until I have that picture of what would it take for my life to be worth living, then I'm hopeless. Because the very basic definition of simcha, the very basic requirement for simcha is that I have a goal. I'm working towards something. Okay? And this is really what simcha requires. This is really what simcha that if we want to put ourselves into a mindset of simcha. So we need to have goals. We need to know what am I living for, and that's how we wake up with excitement. That's how we that we live life with a sparkle in our eyes, because we know that we're going somewhere. We know that I'm doing something with my life. I'm getting somewhere, and like every day can be the first day of school. Every day can be like if I have a clear day, if a clear picture of where I would like to get. That's why it's so crucial to make actual goals. Like how would I like my day to look, and what would it take for my day to be the most successful, and how can I fill my day with that? And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm excited. I'm excited because I know that today I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And so this is actually the secret to simcha. Okay, so really, the simcha is about having goals in life, knowing that it's going to be better, I can make it better, and that to see this nicer tomorrow, like believing in it tomorrow, and believing that I can get there. So this is how we're going to be b'simcha, and this is how we're going to live exciting lives, right? So I bless us all that we should really be able to connect with this, to connect with having goals, with having aspirations, that never being complacent, that really understanding that I haven't started yet, that today is the first day of my life, that I have you ain't seen nothing yet, that whatever I've done until now is just the pregame, that like now let the games begin, and that to constantly be asking myself, okay, like to reach for the stars, like what is my next goal, what is my next dream, what is my next challenge, and that to always be, I had a friend once that I wanted to ask him a question, and like he was learning, and I asked him like, are you in the middle of something? So he said, B'ezrat Hashem, I'm always going to be in the middle of something. And it was like, it really like, it was very meaningful to me, like that, yeah, that's like, I would like to always be like, always be in a situation that like I'm in the middle of something, because like that I'm never just like, okay, I don't know exactly what I'm doing right now, let's just smoke weed, and like, and just let's just pass time, let's just like that, like to be in this mentality that I'm working towards something, that this is really the most basic thing in mental health. This is the most basic thing in happiness. And so I really bless us that we should that know that we need to have goals, and to have goals, and to know that these goals are actually in our reach, and that we're on the way, and being on this path of our goals. So this is really what's going to make the difference in our state of mind constantly, and this is really what Adar is all about. This is really what Simcha is all about, and this is what's going to really get rid of all of the depression in the world. B'ezrat Hashem. Okay,